Hey, Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakar Kodash. Salakia, give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakar Kodash. Give double honors to our apostles / others, which are of GMS, and blessed salutations to you, brothers out there teaching enduring truth, sincerity. I wanted to get in this lesson. I'm kind of timid to play it. But I'm going to and see how long it lasts. If it doesn't, then I re-upload it and and do it a different way. But I've been let's see here. I got it on my playlist edification. There we go. I got a playlist where it goes over the situation I'm talking about. Again, the name of this playlist is or the name of this lesson is supplanters or wolves in Israel, or they of Israel, not of Israel. Okay, all of Israel, not of Israel. So the point is that we have agents within Israel that are influenced or set up by Esau, and these segment of videos, the longest one would be a 6-minute video. Let's see, which is the first one I'm going to play, and I think it's the one of the most important. Set aside the 7-minute video. The longest one is going to be a 7-minute video. Now, Lord willing, what I'm going to go across is that basically you had the Colin Kaepernick situation, right? With the Colin Kaepernick situation, you had NFL players kneeling, right? Amongst those NFL players kneeling, there was another player that was kneeling with him, and the only reason why, because he's an LSU guy and I'm an LSU fan, so I was like, oh shit, that's what's such and such. His name is Eric Reed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, that's a boy from LSU. He's kneeling with him. So, in my spirit, I'm like, oh, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? But, time went on, and Kaepernick couldn't get a job in the NFL to this day, which is, it's neither here nor there. Ain't no sweat off our back. But we just, for me, being into it is based off of how Esau is literally willing to jeopardize his Super Bowl or playoff or can't even say team success, because the team will be successful outside of victory, because it's just bread and circuses at the end of the day. But they're willing to jeopardize so-called team success, which is Super Bowl opportunities, via not allowing Colin Kaepernick to be quarterback, which you can give Washington Redskins, for example. They don't have a goddamn quarterback. They brought Mark Sanchez in, the butt fumbler over this is a good point, over Colin Kaepernick. It brought Mark Sanchez in over Colin Kaepernick, when the quarterback before that was Alex Smith. Alex Smith was the starter over Colin Kaepernick. When Alex Smith wasn't doing good, they brought Colin Kaepernick in, and he began to be good, and they traded Alex Smith away to the Kansas City Chiefs. So the reason why I say that is that the Washington Redskins' excuse was that he didn't fit the system. That's bullshit, because if Alex Smith fit the system, Colin Kaepernick fits the system, because they both were quarterbacks on the same team doing the same thing under the same coach, right? So the system does fit. Now we're gonna start off with these lessons. So basically, with these videos, basically Eric Reed was the guy that kneeled with him and supported Colin Kaepernick for the injustice against Jake, right? Colin Kaepernick never got a job. Eric Reed got a job because Colin Kaepernick was the face of that. All right. Esau knows what to do and when to do it. He got rid of the face. Now Eric Reed was one of the faces, but he wasn't the face. So he has a job right now with the Carolina Panthers, right? And basically, by Colin Kaepernick leaving, that didn't stop what they were doing So Esau basically paid the black, or what, Jake that was fighting again, he paid them off. You know what I'm saying? Gave him such millions of dollars to basically his hush money. What the scripture said, a gift blinded the eyes of the wise. You know what I'm saying? But what another scripture said, that the shepherd, the evil shepherd is only there for filthy lucre. He will not protect the flock. You know, and that's where Malcolm Jenkins falls in. And this is a good example to show you how Tazadakia, the Godson, so-called Godson comforter, how Nate, all these people move, because this is a situation on the forefront. So we're gonna start this first video, okay? And I'm just gonna play it, hoping the audio doesn't affect the
when
fact
this whole
that
thing
they
unfolded on Sunday, me personally,
so mind you, these are all Jakes except for the other guy, which I think he's a Jake too. I forgot his name. Stephen A will mention him, but I think he's a Jake too, because you know he dealt with Jake, Max Kellerman. You know, I could be wrong. It's kind of, you know, I think he's a Jake. He don't really act like one, but he's always around Jake. He's always supportive of Jake, and he's always involved with Jake, which is that's my reason, you know.
I felt upset because as a black man, I felt like you shouldn't put that type of display out there on public, because
so first off, that's this nigga here. You can't see him. I wish you could. Damien Woody. He's already down in Eric Reed. The first thing they do is demonize. They're saying you shouldn't put it on public display. But if you don't put it public, what the scriptures say, open rebuke is better than secret love. Them that do wickedness open rebuke before all, so others may fear. So they're suppressing. They always have suppressors of our own people. That was Malcolm Jenkins. That was Damian Woodley. That was Stephen A. Smith. Okay? Which is why he's the klutz that he is in sports. If brothers are into that, there's a klutz that he is in sports, because he's nothing but a suppressor and a race baiter, you know?
At the end of the day, you might have two different ways of going about it, but we're still fighting for the same cause.
And no, you're not. No, you're not. Because Malcolm Jenkins wasn't about fighting the same cause. He sold out. Okay? Their argument here is that you shouldn't be publicly shaming Malcolm Jenkins because he took a deal to be silenced. So-called fighting for the same cause. No, nigga. You just was a nigga that sold out. And then when Eric Reed harped on it and got mad at it, oh, you should do it behind closed doors. That nigga a hoe. You can tell Malcolm Jenkins was a hoe by his moves. So you think he's going to be able to be he's going to be able to be addressed over the phone, right? If he pulled a whole move like that to all of Israel, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that he's a prophet or anything. He know what them niggas are nowhere near it, but at least Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick have an inclination toward being doing the works of the elect. Because the scriptures say basically, if you do the works of the elect, or you do the works of the law and you don't know the law, are you congratulated, or are you demonized for it? No, you congratulated. If you don't know the law, if you don't know not to eat pork, you never eat pork, are you wicked, or are you righteous for doing that? You're righteous. So though they don't know the whole law, yet they're fighting for the nation of Israel, right? But Malcolm Jenkins took a plea deal, you know? So we're going to get into that.
And I think the forces, the outside forces who don't want to see a lot of these issues talked about or rectified, they're looking at this particular situation where you got Eric Reed and Malcolm Jenkins having a public display. They're applauding this because at the end of the day, they want the infighting. They want the strife to happen with these two parties, these two individuals. So for me,
hey, that's bullshit, because what the scriptures say, the Most High's judgment will begin at the house of Israel, man. All right? So the fighting begins eternally, and then it spreads abroad. So the judgment and executing, getting things straight, it says set your house in order. You know what I'm saying? And Eric Reed was in a spirit of setting his house in order. So Malcolm Jenkins was a part of the house, right? And here it is. He's trying to suppress it by saying, yeah, you shouldn't fight, and put it out there in public. You know what I'm saying? What the apostles do when a brother go off. They you know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, reveal not a name, you know, things like that. There's a way, but I don't think Eric Reed had a problem with that bitch ass nigga, and he addressed it, right? Which it should be done. Because you can't address him over the phone. Where you gonna address him at? All this, that's what Esau does. When Jake wanna revolt and rise up, there's a better way to do it. There's a better way to do it. Well, what way? Because if you do it behind closed doors, then Esau can work his tools. He can use his money. He can get on media. Esau don't fucking do it behind closed doors. Esau don't slander behind closed doors. He don't resolve the issue behind closed doors. They get on CNN, they get on NFL Network and use niggas like you, sellouts like you, to push their agenda. That's not behind closed doors. Why should Eric Reed, you know, situation be behind closed doors? No, address that nigga to his face like Paul did Peter, but Peter wasn't a nigga, man. But Peter was going off and he addressed him to his face, man. That's how men do it, man.
I would have rather see, if these guys have disagreements, which they clearly do that in a private setting, not on public display where everyone can see what's going on between these two sides.
Well, let me say this. First of all, I'm uncomfortable from this perspective. And Max, I'm not aiming this at you or anybody else. I'm just telling you that as a black man, I'm uncomfortable with talking to anybody but black people about this subject. But it's national television, and Eric Reed put it out on Front Street, so I understand everybody has a right to talk about this.
Well, it should
but when
be.
you
That's
have a
what
black
should be the
man
case.
calling another black man a sellout, that's something that has to be addressed. And I think it primarily should be addressed by us. And let me tell you why. Eric Reed is wrong.
That's suppression. Who else would be a fucking sellout? Why are you not allowed to call a Jake a sellout? Why is that? Who else is? How could you be a sellout if you can't be a part of the circle? And you're not allowed. That's like saying a woman is not. A woman is never in a position to be abused physically. That she does nothing. Like a comedian. Edomite comedian once said that a woman, he said he thinks it's irony that a woman can't do nothing to be abused. Like she can't fuck your next door neighbor, leave you out in the street, take your house, leave you paying half on the house, and being divorced, and she still haven't, you know, committed adultery with that neighbor, and that's not a good reason to put your hands on her. There's no good reason. No, there's a good reason to put your hand on a woman you just avoided, right? So to sit there and call, when Eric Reed put there and called the man a sellout, that's what he is. How's that wrong? You could say not appropriate, that is not fit for that situation, but it's not. You can't say that it's not wrong. You know why he says wrong? Because he's suppressing that behavior of checking coon ass niggas, man. And that's a new agenda, man. Anytime you call a Jake a coon, now in this time, you know, it's a self-hatred or something like that. They try to pull it out as that, you know?
Because of the words that he used. You can have a disagreement, and to point to what Damian Woody just highlighted. But let's analyze and dissect what's transpiring here. Eric Reed is a supporter of Colin Kaepernick and the causes that obviously Colin Kaepernick wants to address. Now, the Players Coalition, their objective has never been
You know what their problem is with Colin Kaepernick is the injustice toward Jake. Jake out there getting shot and killed, and this nigga Malcolm Jenkins was willing to take the money to shut the fuck up. What do you call that? A sellout. He sold out. He took the money and he copped out. It's a sellout.
about Colin Kaepernick, and they're unapologetic about that, whether it's Malcolm Jenkins, it's Anquan Bolden, or anybody else. They were on a mission to garner whatever level of support that they could garner.
And Malcolm Jenkins wouldn't support just because he's more vocal, because he's in a better position, because Esau allowed him to be in that position, doesn't make him valuable. Okay, so I just want to. I'm a. You know, it's a long lesson, and we already 14 minutes in on a 6-minute video. So we're gonna go to. I want to go to. I'm gonna go to this one right here. This is Eric Reed's. I want to let y'all listen to the whole video.
Office. that's what we should aim to do every week.
We hadn't had a chance to talk to you since Josh Norman's comments. What did you make of those, and just your reaction?
I didn't watch his comments, but I assume they're about Malcolm. I can give some more clarity to why I believe he's a sellout if y'all got a minute to hear the story.
Sure.
Y'all remember that players owners meeting in New York City? So we were brought in under the premise that the NFL wanted to use their resources to help the black community. We established within the first 5 minutes of that meeting that we weren't there to negotiate an end to the process. After about an hour and a half of talking, Bob McNair says, I think the elephant in the room is this protesting. Terry Pagula follows up with, yeah, I've already lost 2 sponsors for my hockey team. We need to put a Band-Aid on this. And we need a black figurehead to do it.
You hear that? They need a face to put this down. And Colin Kaepernick wasn't budging. And this guy here, I don't know what he did after that because he got himself a job. After that, I don't know if Colin Kaepernick was the fall guy. And as long as you have a fall guy, the rest of the guys have their ability. But at the end of the day, that shows, Nate is the fall guy, and they're gonna demonize and drag through the mud the real problem. So really, Malcolm Jenkins is like a Nate, you know what I'm saying? And you could say Apostle Tahar would be the Colin Kaepernick-esque. I hate to relate them to worldly niggas, but just to give the idea of the connection, how Israel will be. They found something to demonize Colin Kaepernick about. Was that kneeling against the flag or against the troops, even though an army citizen or a veteran referred him to kneel because at first he was sitting to the flag and they told him to kneel because that's more appropriate, right? So he started kneeling. That's where the kneeling came from an army veteran or a military veteran. So what happened? You got groups and you got a nigga that was willing to take the money, willing to go with the NFL's agenda, and they say you can still do what you could do. You can act like you're against this, and as long as you take that money and let us push this money toward whatever thing you want, and they're gonna still kill niggas unjustly. Y'all have to shut the fuck up, because now it's like, well, we do this and we do that. What you think Esau always do? Well, y'all get food stamps, we let y'all in college, we let y'all do this. That's what they do. All that shit don't cover all that, man. That don't cover all that blood, man. Esau got the fucking nerve. They're proud, man.
What's the Eagles owner's name? Lurie. Lurie says, we can do more for the black community than you can ever imagine with our resources.
Yeah, but they don't.
Bob McNair then says, yeah, just make sure you tell your comrades to stop that protesting business.
Yeah.
So we leave that meeting. We reestablished internally, the people that are involved with the Players Coalition, that we weren't negotiating an end to the protest. The NFL said they wanted to use its resources to help the black community, so I was fine with giving my opinion on how they could do that. That changed the last week of November when Malcolm called me on the phone and asked if the NFL made a donation to the Players Coalition. Would that be enough for me to stop protesting?
That's it. You hear that? You know what I'm saying? You hear that? It's just that Nate ain't got no connection with Apostle Tahar. You can't reason with Apostle Tahar, nor any brother of GMS to turn sides. Any brother that turns sides, then you get rebuked and exiled, right? So in this situation, it's showing you how Esau worked, man. It's showing you how he works amongst Jake, man.
He said that they were willing to do $5 million. And I told him, no, we've already established for the 2 times prior to this that we weren't negotiating an end to the process. He then asked me, well, how much would it take? So I ended that conversation. I reported back to other players what he said to me. And at that point, we removed ourselves from the Player Coalition. That weekend, Malcolm stopped protesting.
You hear that? They removed themselves from the Players Coalition because they realized it was corrupt. And then following that, what happened?
He said that it was time for everybody to stop protesting.
And that's when he got paid. He got the Judas purse to say, look, he's the face. I'm the face of the Black Coalition. And it makes Jake looking like, oh, it's time to stop protesting. Maybe it's okay. Esau, man, is very slick and cunning, man.
He didn't protest the rest of the year. The following May, the NFL and the Players Coalition finalized and announced their deal. And within 24 hours of that, the NFL changed the policy on the national anthem, requiring everybody to stand. So those series of events are not a coincidence. The NFL used him to change the anthem policy, to force it into the process, to satisfy it.
Like, it's like, okay, y'all niggas, we paid y'all, so now y'all got to stand up for this national anthem. Meanwhile, Jake is still getting unjustly dealt with. It's just that only thing that changed was the millions of dollars that was transacted, and you stopped stealing for the national anthem. But does that change the whole purpose why you were there? Right? A gift blinded the eyes of the wise.
Sponsors like Terry Pagula mentioned, and probably also to satisfy the President of the United States. We spent weeks on the phone talking about this deal and saying that it wasn't an end to the protest. And he made the decision on his own to move forward and essentially allow the NFL to hide behind his black face, as Terry Pagula said, to make a change to the anthem policy to force us to stand.
So there you have it, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to get this last video of this punk ass nigga, Malcolm Jenkins, man, right? Which you can't say you sold out, because we know brothers that's been in that helm of bread and circus that were brothers, you know what I'm saying? So, there's 144,000, but there's men and children that follow and do things to be a part. So that brother, that brother's in good spirits, basically, you know what I'm saying? He's in a wicked atmosphere, but he was in good spirits, okay?
If you write anything on your
making
computer,
a difference amongst
you need
Israel,
to get Grammarly.
you know what I'm saying?
I write pretty much
Try to get
all
this
day.
fucking commercial. That ain't number Satan, you know what I'm saying? I could skip it, that one number Satan. Satan ain't shit.
This was the scene right after the coin flip of the Eagles-Panthers game. Panthers defensive back Eric Reid and Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins had to be separated. After the game, Reid accused Jenkins of trying to steal away the social justice movement started by Colin Kaepernick in 2016.
I believe Malcolm capitalized on the situation. He co-opted the movement that was started by Colin to get his organization funded. It's cowardly. He sold us out.
At the end of the day, when I look up at what's going on right now in our country, around the league, I'm very, very proud of guys like Eric Reid, like Colin Kaepernick, like Torrey Smith on that team, guys in my locker room that are super active right now in their communities, that are using their voices and their platforms in ways.
You see how he disconnect themselves. Those guys
That we hadn't seen by professional athletes that are continuing to move the needle, for people who don't have voices. And at the end of the day, that's what my focus is. And I'm excited to be a part of that.
I wish y'all could see the video. The guy can't even look at the camera. He can't look at look at everybody dead in the eye. He's looking down to his right, which means he's fucking lying, man.
A witness of the magnitude of things that are going on right now in the context of our league. And it's, that's where I am with it.
Now, Eric
has a shitty ass apology, shitty ass reason, shitty ass whatever. But this shows you the engine that Esau uses. If Jake get to stirring up, just like Malcolm X, they'll hire somebody, just like MLK, they'll hire somebody. Once you get the job done, it's over with. It's gonna be over with for him. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get rid of him anytime, because you're a fucking asset, man. Just like the movie Good Shepherd. Anytime you become an asset, anytime you expose information or you get your job done, they get rid of your ass, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but overall, Colin Kaepernick set up this. He started this movement to complain about the injustice of Israel. Eric Reid, amongst many other players, got involved in it. Eric Reid couldn't find a job for a while. These guys are hella productive. They still, it took them a while, but Colin Kaepernick would never find a job for obvious reasons. I don't know why niggas still complaining about it. But they started their organization, and then Esau just took one of these niggas, and the organization was a Malcolm Jenkins. So he basically took that deal, took that money, and the other players left, and it's like, okay, well, now you sit down for the anthem. Now you got to sit down because you took the money. You can't take the money and say we're still going to stand up and protest. So now what do people think? Oh, it's over with, right? They did them justice, but it's still the whole point, the whole premise of it was to stop injustice. It didn't stop it. That's what Esau does, man. That's what Nate and them represent. They give you a Judas purse. All you got to do is stop prophesying about this and stop talking about that. Stop talking about the name. Stop talking about Israelites only and do this and do that. You can still go out there and preach the Bible, but just don't talk about this and this. Now they're obligated because you took the purse. You took the purse. You see? That's how they roll, man. You know what I'm saying? A gift blinded the eyes of the wise, man. You know? So, with that being said, I'm going to say, call all to y'all by Shemi Al-Shai, by Shemi Al-Kakadash, double answer apostle, others with your Jim Mess, and blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and doing truth, sincerity. Hey, shalom.